Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Open Network User Group podcast. I'm Mark Tierney, the CTO at ONUG, and today I'll be joined by two guests. One of my favorite technical experts, and the other's my boss. But first, don't forget, join the ONUG Enterprise Cloud community at ONUG Spring 2022. You'll find solutions, use cases, proof of concepts, live demonstrations, new technologies for designing, building, managing, and securing the next generation of enterprise cloud solutions. Go to onug.net to register for this event today. It's just a couple days away, so get it done. So that expert I was telling you about, she's amazing. Johna Till Johnson. She is the CEO of Emcee Research. Johna, thanks for being with me.
Mark, thank you so much for inviting me.
I feel like I dissed Nick, and I just somewhere deep down, I must feel bad about it. I don't know, but Nick is the Nick Lippis is the founder, co-founder, and co-chair of ONUG. Nick, we're right down to it, right? It's always just the days away from the conference, and I don't know. I'm nervous. You seem not nervous. I'm always a little nervous.
No, well, God, it's like this is our 10th year, like our 23rd or something like ONUG. So it's like, this is actually the calm before the storm. It's always the quietest, like, the week or 2 weeks before. For me, not for for a lot of the staff, it's like really hectic, but for me, it's pretty quiet because we spend so much time preparing for like this. It's like, it's crazy. They're like handcrafted conferences, it's like every little thing, So, but like, this is the time I get to actually sit back, relax, practice some things, and just kind of get ready.
I've sat in different seats along the way, both as consumer and then as just an MC, and now from the inside, managing the working groups. But John, I'm sort of interested in your perspective on the ONUG experience. So you've got a special role. You're doing, you're moderating some panels, and you're getting ready for the clash, right? With
Exactly.
with Greg.
The great debate with Greg, although I don't suspect we're going to be differing a lot, but we have very strong opinions about some of the more common wisdom that might be out there. And in fact, Mark, what I was thinking about for this conference is it's the first real, non-purely virtual conference in 2 years for ONUG. So everyone might be forgiven for thinking, oh, we're all back to normal now. And my stance and Greg's stance is that's completely wrong. Normal from 2019 is gone, and it ain't coming back. And what I think you're going to see at these sessions, there's a subtext across all the sessions, but that subtext is everything has changed. The enterprise network is no longer connecting inside to inside. All the traffic flow is connecting home users to the cloud, outside to outside, and the very definition of enterprise IT is changing. Because I know there's a session, for example, that talks about, is IT even going to be here in the next couple of years? So even though people are going to superficially feel like they're coming, returning to normal, I think this is actually kind of, in your words, Nick, the calm before the storm of a major technology paradigm shift.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's like, we're never going back to 2019. I'm there with you, and I think we're on like this whole new IT cycle. Like in prepping for my opening remarks, I was pretty amazed to find out that IT spending increased by 14% in the last 2 years. We're a $5 trillion worldwide, industry sector.
And we're still growing at well over 10%.
It is like, that's astonishing numbers. And I think, and so what do we get for that? Productivity is back. It's like productivity numbers, like they were stagnant for like a year. It was like less than 1%, and now it's like 2.2, so like, actually, I am so with you, Johna. I think like our profession, the folks like within IT, we are entering the really beginning phases of a golden era. Like you see, like there are about 1.1 million job postings for IT jobs. That's up 50%, from last year. Comp packages are up 20%. There are so many scarce resources in our industry. So I think there's a lot of really great work to be done. The IT folks now, they are at the epicenter of like digital transformation projects. So they are like right there connecting consumers and partners, suppliers, and their employees together, and they're delivering productivity. It's like their value to an organization just got so big over these last 2 years, and just starting.
And I will actually take it a step further. In one of the issue papers that is hopefully going out to accompany the panel session I'm on, I talk about how we had the industrial age and then we had the information age. And my contention is the information age is ending and we're getting into the intelligence age. And what I mean by that is it's no longer about humans going to centers where the machines are and feeding the machines with information so the machines can do things. It's about the machines spontaneously being able to do things using, AI, using machine learning, and with automation, really changing the human role in the same fundamental foundational way that the industrial age changed what the definition of work. And you started having factories and manufacturing plants instead of farms, and hand artisanal crafting of things. And I think we're rapidly coming into a new paradigm shift where, as you said, the IT people are front and center in this. We're the people that are seeing it 10, 20 years before it's really going to hit the mainstream, but it is really hitting.
Oh, I love
I'm glad
that.
you said it that way. I feel like there's a lot of people who are observing the industry and feel like we've just gone through, because of the pandemic, maybe some cultural changes, maybe some operational changes and things like that. But the reality is no, the train didn't stop. We're innovating. We're still innovating. And in big ways, to your point, Johna.
It's bigger than even evolutionary innovation. It's literally a paradigm shift. And Nick, when you were talking about the, 1.1 million job openings, I'm assuming you mean just in the US.
Yeah.
But that's actually a sign. If you think about it, back in the start of the industrial age, people couldn't get people to come work in factories. So it's a job opportunity, it's a career opportunity, it's a transformational opportunity. And it's sort of, it's not just, well, we're continuing to innovate and do good stuff, but it's like everything's going to change in the same fundamental way that it did before.
Love that. I love that. I love that concept, too, the intelligence age. It's like you got to service mark that.
Yeah, I probably should. First, I got to finish the white paper that hopefully is going to go out to folks this week.
Actually, I'm going to if I do use it, I'm going to quote you.
Thank you.
As well. And but that is really great. Love that. Okay. All right. So Mark,
I'm going to steal it and put it in a meme.
I was going to say
that's just how I roll. That's
how
just what
roll.
I do. It's part of my charm.
Do me a favor and put it on LinkedIn, because I only go to Twitter when I'm looking at something specific.
All right. I only go to Twitter when I'm being a smart aleck, which is
basically 24/7.
Right. Yeah. You got me.
That
Nailed it. Okay, so let's now sort of peel the onion back a little bit. Nick, what's getting your motor running about the show? It is big. We're coming back. We're hybrid. Boy, it looks like our numbers from its attendees perspective are close to the last time we were physical, right? And we're going to have all that plus the virtual. Kind of an amazing feat, right?
Yeah, no, we're not. We won't be as big as fall of 2019. Probably fall of 2023 will probably be bigger than that. But I think this is going to be, the largest in-person spring that we've had. And then there's, a couple thousand people that are plugged in, online. I think, it's just one thing operationally. I gotta I never really thank our staff, it's like, but I have to just hats off to them. It's like, this is one of the most complex ONUGs that we've ever done. And things are going to break, we know that they're going to break. There's like so many different moving parts, but we'll fix them and we'll get better at it, moving forward. But I think there'll be unique experiences, whether you're plugged in online, whether you're there in person, and people will be, kind of moving between the two. I know I will from time to time. But so I think it's more complex, it's bigger, and from the point of view of both online and then also having the in-person part of it. So I think that's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. I think to me, really, it's like two things, for like this ONUG, and that is like it really just goes back to like being a human. It's like it's just meeting everyone again, being reconnected, seeing everyone we haven't seen like in 2 years, and so the cocktail receptions, all the networking, that's what I'm really excited about. Hearing different ideas, being able presenting in front of an audience. Haven't done that in 2 years, and nobody has, and so that's going to be really kind of interesting to see how we, we're not in gym shorts, and we're not.
Wait, hold on, we're not. Mark told me we were.
you know,
I did mention something about Crocs, wearing Crocs, but
it would be kind of funny to see a whole audience in sweatpants.
Mark did say that the dress code is definitely casual for this conference. So so don't break out the blazer and tie, please. You'll be very uncomfortable. Don't do it for us.
I'm not sure if you're pointing that towards me or everybody, but
no, that was everybody. That was everybody, because it is actually
it's a tech conference.
Yeah, and honestly, I think people have really relaxed dress codes because, as you guys know, I've been working virtually for 30 years, back in the 90s. And one of the things that we did until COVID was really when you were on a conference call or video conference, you actually put on your tie, you put on your blazer, you tried to look like you were in the office, even though it may be apparent that you're at home, you still did that. And post-COVID, hey, look at this. We're wearing our hoodies, we're wearing our fleece. And I think it's important to sort of to come back to the whole idea that no, we're not going back to 2019 where, people do have the need to dress up and commute and do all those things that are obsolete. Things have changed.
Yeah. It's gonna be an adjustment. It'll be fun to see how everyone is with it. It's but I think the networking thing, is really, I think, the big thing I'm looking forward to. I think, and so really from kind of a geeky thing, the live demonstrations, seeing CSNF live. I know, Mark, you put so much time and energy and effort into that. The orchestration automation. I'm just hoping this is the start of something really, really big and interesting.
And I think I'm pretty confident it will be because, to be honest, I was talking to a colleague earlier today, and we were talking about the fact that there are really very, very few multi-vendor tech conferences left anymore. And in a sense, ONUG is really serving the role of, being that showcase for automation, showcase for orchestration, showcase for things working together that we haven't had in over a decade.
Yeah, in a long time.
One of the things that, if I could jump on that, one of the things that is always gratifying from my seat, which is mostly managing the working groups, is to see, different suppliers coming together with our enterprise consuming members and working together side by side to do these demonstrations, to put out collateral, to write that next playbook or white paper or taxonomy doc or whatever it is. They do it as a team. It's so great to watch them do that together. So, the community benefits. A lot of fun. And I think to your point, Nick, that comes out in the culture, particularly in person. So definitely excited about that. I'll also say, yes, the cloud security notification framework is we're at a pivotal spot. We're delivering the MVP iteration of the cloud security notification framework. And you're going to hear a lot, the audience is going to hear a lot about the toil reduction that this open source solution is going to deliver to the SecOps, DevSecOps community. And be there, listen, get involved. Right?
Yeah. And Mark, I just want to add on to that. It's not just hear about it, but see it, as Nick said, and there's just no other way to do it than to, get your hands on, so to speak.
Yeah,
absolutely. Johna, how about you? What any particular session that you're stoked about?
It's not so much any one session. It's sort of more what I said earlier, which is all the sessions have a common underlying unstated theme, which is everything's different now, because the problems that we're solving aren't the same problems we were solving 2 years ago, let alone the solutions we have for them. We're in a position of fundamental societal change that's happening. And this is everywhere from highly intelligent facilities. I like to talk about how in the future, companies are going to have fewer, smarter buildings because the buildings aren't going to serve as warehouses for employees. They're going to serve as collaboration centers for that kind of interaction that you can only get in person, but also augmented with toys like AR and VR, and holographs and robots and cobots and all of that. And they'll also be showpieces for clients so that you can impress clients with your sophistication. What all of that means from a technology perspective, though, is you're not building an MPLS network to connect your front office to your back office. You're building a network that has to be smart enough to think in terms of IoT, to be real time, to have multimedia video, and to be operating complex machinery remotely. That's a whole set of challenges. And oh, by the way, the control mechanisms might be across the multi-cloud.
Yeah.
So technically, Nick, when you were talking about thanking your team, I was thinking to myself, in a sense, they're the precursors of the IT world to come, because they're trying to deal with this virtual hybrid, part virtual, part physical hybrid environment with a lot of technology happening at once. That's going to be the challenge of the next couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I love that. I think, we do have a new tagline that I do want to kind of mention, that kind of picks up when you were saying, Johna. It's that we're starting to allow, basically say at ONUG, it works because you saw it at ONUG, so
I think that's great. Yeah.
So it's, you're right. It's like, there's a skill set that is getting developed where you have to really just kind of like, you have to really deal like in these multi-vendor environments, and what are now the new kind of control mechanisms? What are now the new management planes for this stuff? How do you actually extract value, from this technology and kind of deliver it, to your corporation? I think, hopefully we'll be able to kind of move ONUG, in that direction where people can come here, they can see how this stuff works, get some really great ideas, whiteboard them out, and then bring them to their corporation and implement them that way.
And as you said, it works because you saw it at ONUG. That's incredibly important to build a reference architecture that actually works. And as a CTO in previous years, one of the key things I focused on was building out that functional reference architecture so we could show that it was possible to orchestrate these next generation networks and hook them into your billing systems and deliver the services with QoS. You can talk all you want about it, but unless you're able to see it working and then replicate that scenario inside your own environment, you can't and shouldn't believe it. So I think that's what makes ONUG not a little bit unique, purely unique, that it's a place you can do that. It's not a single vendor demo showcasing why that vendor is great.
Yeah, it's taken some time to get us there, but I think we're there. So Mark, I have to kind of like, I'm not going to correct you, but like, I'm for CSNF. I'm going to use it.
Since when?
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, why be different now?
What'd I do now?
Oh, nothing. I'm going to call it not the MVP, but the MLP. So it's like the minimum.
Oh, that's right. That was suggested we adopt a new term.
Yeah, Yeshem suggested this, from Citigroup. So yeah, so minimum lovable product, is kind of like what we're delivering at ONUG for the CSNF version.
That's awesome. All right, we're gonna do it from here on out. Any parting shots, Nick?
No, just really looking forward to seeing everyone there. Obviously, don't if you can only be there virtual, then sure. But if you're in the tri-state area, come on down. Really just have a great time. Get out of the house. It's like, be with some colleagues. We'll have a lot of fun. We'll have some great cocktail receptions, some good conversations. And you'll learn a few things as well.
And I'll just add
Johna?
to that, if you are only able to join virtually, you're not a second-class citizen. One of the great things about the past couple of years is we and ONUG have set up the infrastructure to make sure your experience is top of the line. So if you can't join us, we're brokenhearted, and we'll have a toast to you in your name. But please do join us virtually, because the experience is definitely not second class; it's top line.
Yeah, awesome.
I couldn't agree with that more. I'll build on that idea that the culture at ONUG, both in person and online, is second to none. It's a very unique experience. Take advantage of all the tools and all the ways that you can interact with each other. It's truly unique. And it is, we talked about being casual, in our attire, but it's also, a casual and approachable kind of group of people that you're going to meet. Great way to network through the platforms that we have and in person. And don't forget to use the tools, especially chat. The chat tools in the virtual space are incredible, and we get a lot of interaction between our panelists and the audience. So take advantage of that. So with that, thanks to Johna and Nick. Thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to join us at ONUG Spring 2022, April 27th and 28th. You can still register at onug.net, and we can't wait to see you there. Thanks, everybody.
Great.
Thanks all.
Mark. Thanks, Johna.